technology helping or hurting our faith? Before we answer this, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell if you don't want to miss any of our videos. Also, if you have any questions about the faith that you need answers to, let us know in the comments below. Okay, so in the world today, it's almost impossible to live without technology. We exist at a time when we have access to so much information literally at our fingertips. Even when it comes to the faith, technology has played a huge role in developing the way people are living out their Catholic faith. Looking back at the last few years, this shift in the Catholic world really came about during the pandemic. People weren't able to go for mass, they were disconnected from the parish communities and even from the rest of society. But this opened doors to the wider Catholic world for many. They live stream masses from across the world and listen to preachers they would never have access to otherwise. They were even able to attend online adoration. Various Catholic ministries and apostolates started creating online communities for fellowship. Others started podcasts for learning about the faith or sharing the daily challenges that come along with being a Catholic in an increasingly anti-Catholic world. Many people even created apps to help Catholics grow in their spiritual life. We have unprecedented access to the catechism, church documents, books, and writings of the church fathers, doctors of the church, and famous theologians. Even when it comes to Vatican news, we have instant access to the latest developments and whatever happens in Rome. Just 20 years ago, we would find out about such announcements only after our parish priest informed us during Sunday Mass. In many ways, this is just mind-blowing. Every Catholic from any part of the world can read, learn, study, and live out their faith like never before. So, what have we been doing with all this technology? Has it really been helping us grow spiritually, or has it done more harm than we expected? On one hand, technology has no doubt been extremely beneficial in strengthening the faith of many Catholics. They have been able to really use the resources available to deepen their knowledge and understanding of the faith and even use it to help others grow in their faith as well. However, this has also led to a few damaging consequences. 1. Armchair theologian. We find an increasing number of people becoming armchair philosophers or theologians. They feel that since they have read a couple of church documents or commentaries from their favorite authors on said documents, or by even watching a few YouTube videos explaining different aspects of the faith, they are now in a better position to defend and explain the faith than priests or bishops who have spent decades of their life studying the faith. People tend to overestimate the knowledge they have about a particular subject. We need to be careful to not fall into the trap of limiting our faith to intellectual knowledge. It's not enough to just know about the faith or know the faith, but to use it to transform our lives and the lives of those around us. Has the knowledge I've gained helped me to evangelize in a charitable way? Or have I been prideful keyboard warrior engaging in online Twitter or X was now in the name of defending the faith? 2. Real versus real fellowship. Another major problem with technology is that it has replaced real relationships. The development of virtual communities has almost led to the death of physical communities and fellowship. People choose to participate from the comfort of their own homes over the real physical connections they make when they meet people in person. While this disconnect might have begun even before the pandemic, thanks to social media, the negative effects continue to this day. People have forgotten how to develop real relationships. Conversations have become awkward and uncomfortable. Interacting with people has become something strange and foreign. There's barely any scope for small talk, let alone opportunities for real, honest, heartfelt conversations. In a world where everyone is connected, we've become increasingly isolated and lonely. Just think about it. You might belong to 20 different group chats, yet when was the last time you engaged in a genuine conversation with every individual in those groups? How about the number of people in our contacts list? We maintain contact with some of them just to wish them a happy birthday, others for New Year or Christmas, and then another year goes by without a word. Do we really know anything about their lives? Have we even tried to reach out and be there for others? Even if someone shares a prayer request, we might immediately post a message saying that we'll be praying for them, but how many of us actually do? When have we last picked up the phone to comfort someone or just listen to what they have on their mind? How many of us have lit a candle virtually to show support for some cause? Have we then taken the bare minimum effort to light an actual candle and pray for whatever we supposedly support? Or was it just to make us feel better about ourselves? It's meaningless and just gives us a false sense of satisfaction that we are a good human being. So, what does the church have to say about the use of technology? As Catholics, we need to find a balance to ensure that technology doesn't adversely affect our faith. Pope Pius XI, in his 1957 encyclical Miranda Prosus, wrote about the potential harmful effects of technology. He wrote, "Just as very great advantages can arise from the wonderful advances which have been made in our day, so too can very great dangers. For these new possessions and new instruments, which are within almost everyone's grasp, introduce a most powerful influence into men's minds, both because they can flood them with light, raise them to nobility, adorn them with beauty, and because they can disfigure them by dimming their luster, dishonor them by a process of corruption, and make them subject to uncontrolled passions." It's crazy to see how something the Pope warned us about nearly 70 years ago has affected our lives today. As human beings, we are not our soul or body alone. We are a composite of body and soul. As Catholics, all our sacraments have equal physical and spiritual components. The waters of baptism, the chrism oil to anoint or bring healing to the body, and even the laying of hands. Even God revealed himself physically through the mystery of the Incarnation. It is not enough to virtually attend Mass or adoration. We need to be physically present. In a letter to the presidents of the Episcopal Conferences, Cardinal Robert Sarah clearly points out that this physical contact with the Lord is vital, indispensable, irreplaceable. He argues by saying, liturgies in which the faithful participate only virtually risk distancing us from a personal and intimate encounter with the incarnate God, whose presence among his people was not virtual but real. As he said, "He who eats my flesh and drinks my blood remains in me and I in him." As Catholics, we need to be careful to avoid the false delusion that our belonging is confined to a virtual world rather than the authentic physical reality. So, how should we then approach the increasingly technology-dependent world? Strive to live a life of virtue, especially the virtues of prudence and temperance. Use technology to build up your faith, but also know when to shut off. This is probably why programs like Exodus 90 have been doing so well. People realize the toxic grip that technology or social media has on them. Instead of hours of mindless scrolling, people are happy to have an excuse to detach from the online world. They have accountability groups that meet in person that help them develop real relationships. It is not only liberating but helps people get back to reality. Use podcasts or online resources to study the faith and to grow in your spiritual journey, but learn to disconnect as well. Like everything else in life, moderation is key. In his spiritual exercises, St. Ignatius of Loyola gives us the key to how we should approach technology. He writes in the first principle and foundation, the human person is created to praise, reverence and serve God our Lord, and by doing so to save his or her soul. And it is for the human person that the other things on the face of the earth are created, as it helps to the pursuit of this end. It follows from this that the person has to use these things insofar as they help towards this end, and to be free of them insofar as they stand in the way of it. So, what do you think about this? Has technology caused more harm than good in our modern lives? Let us know in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, let us know by liking and subscribing to our channel. It really helps us a lot. Until next time.